Hey guys, welcome back to another review for One Piece chapter 1147 called The Things We Fear, The Things We Find Scary. Not sure with the translation, but yeah, of course, thankfully no break next week, but I feel like Oda does have a system going now where it's 3 weeks break, 3 weeks break, unless he cuts it to a 1 month break depending on a important situation, like last time Netflix adaptation, or he needs to get the surgery for his eye. But so far, so good. No issues, thankfully. But of course, as always, enjoy your drink. And let's jump straight into the chapter. Whoa, almost dropped it. That would have been bad. But yeah, we go right where we left off last chapter with Robin, Saul, and Chopper, and we find the reason. Oda quickly, denies this. Not denies, but he says, "Hey, Saul said, do not fight them because," and Saul, how do you know this? Like, who's gatekeeping this information? First of all, it was Brook last chapter, right, with knowing God's Knights, knowing kind of looks like who this is. Well, anyway, we get a little bit of that this chapter, right? And he says, that's a God's Knight. First of all, do vice admirals just know this information, or is it because of the revolutionaries and you talk to Dragon that you know this information? Why does Brook know what a God's Knight is? Why do you know what a God's Knight is? Luffy challenged the world government. Why did you not bring these up? There's so many questions in my head for me from this. Anyway, it just, I know that Oda, it's impossible for Oda to just add all this, right? Like, it's impossible for him to add all of it. So, but Brook, I don't know. It's just like it's hard for me to like fit it in. Anyway, sorry. Let's keep going. And we see that he says they're immortal. You cannot kill them. So even if you try to fight them, you can't beat this guy. So just hide. I'm gonna just take the brunt. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna keel over, but I'm gonna do my best. And that's kind of what we see. He just falls over, and he pronounces to everybody later on that, hey, I took care of that orange guy who was trying to save the kid, orange bearded guy who was trying to save the kids. And we get, I think, the most interesting part of the chapter with Gunko interacting with the Straw Hats. First of all, Sommer says, do we want to kidnap? Do we want to kidnap them also and bring them back with us? And killing them is like, we do not want to pick a fight with the Yonko Straw Hat. Luffy, please, let's not do that. Let's not deal with that. And later on, Sommers, while Gunko's fighting them, Sommers even says, I'm not in the mood to fight a Yonko right now, but I don't see a sense of urgency from them. Like, I feel like they won't be able to deal with Luffy. 100% they won't be able to deal with it, but it'll just make their lives a lot harder. So I don't know where they stand, man, because here in this next part is like I've seen so many posts of people calling Jinbei a fraud, and even me, man, I like 2 reviews ago I was saying, hey, no, even last review I mentioned it, right? I'm like, Jinbei's gonna be the one that deals with them. Jinbei's gonna be the one that deals with Gunko. Jinbei's gonna be the one that's the strongest. He's fourth strongest. He's gonna deal with Gunko, right? He's there. And even Nami, while they're all tied up, is like, Jinbei, what happened, dude? You were the one that I felt safe with. That's why we were good. I thought we were good with you here. And Jinbei's like, be quiet. I'm figuring out how to defeat that ability. And I'm just like, okay, I mean, I guess it surprised you. But, sometimes fights don't have a second chance. You kind of just got to really be fighting for, I don't know. It throws me off because a lot of people were referencing back previous chapters and since severity and the seriousness of them fighting, and Jim and Zoro, like all these people were way more serious before. And even Frankie's stocks kind of feel like they went up because of everything that's transpired here. But I love Frankie. Nothing yet for this chapter, but yeah. So Brook says that it looks weird, like. And there's so many theories that pop into my head immediately with this Brook interaction. It's just, it can't be. When he says it can't be that person, I'm thinking, okay, you saw them when they were little. You saw them before they were a Holy Knight. This person's a lot older than they look because of the immortality power. or they've been a fan for so long, they've always been your fan, or you've seen them in your previous life. Like Brook's previous life opens up so many possibilities. Like he knew Roger as he was coming up before he was a big name. Like not new, my bad. He heard of Roger as he was coming up. It just opens up so many possibilities. Anyway, I just love going on these tangents, but I also don't want to make this review too long. But yeah, he's thinking to himself, there's something about this person that looks familiar. Now there's possibilities. It's from the past. This person was a fan in concerts at the moment, or it was way before in his first life. Like there's so many chances, and they liked his music back then. But yeah, and then she comes back to Brook and says, "You're gonna make music for me from now on, and as like a slave." And Jinbei is saying that's a one crazy groupie. But see, she did interact with him, knowing that he is Soul King. He makes music, and she wants to listen to more of his music. He's a great composer. He's a great musician. But even Sommers is like, I don't want to fight with Yonko Luffy right now. And she gives him an ultimatum of, you come with me or you're going to die. And Brook moment, Brook stocks going up, every stock of Brook just flying, soaring. I love Brook. He stood up to Big Mom 100%, fought Big Mom. He, in the face of being tied up and helpless, he is telling Gunko, no, I am not going to betray my captain. And I would sooner embrace death than live without honor. And he just gets smacked away. Beautiful. Good Brook stocks. And Sommers starts talking to the microphone. He starts talking to the snail that only broadcasts to everybody about the situation that they're all in. He starts monologuing with everything that's transpiring, all that's going to happen to the kids, what they're going to use the kids for. They're trying to build the Warriors of Elbaf again. And he's saying, you know the situation you're in. You kind of have seen a little bit going on right now. Here are our demands. Just using the hostages to their full capacity, right? They need the Warriors of Elbaf on their side, supposedly. I still don't feel like the Warriors of Elbaf carry as much weight as they used to because of the nerf that King Harold did to the island itself. But we see him on a living thorn. Like the thorn snake thing has eyes, and I'm questioning if he can make living things. What is this? Like why is he able to make this sort of snake creature? It threw me off for a bit. But trying to make sure I'm not going over anything. He said he defeated the orange beard guy, so they're all freaking out because Saul is, I guess, one of their stronger warriors. They wake up the kids, and then Colin is there while they're all freaking out. He's calming them down, thankfully. And I had two favorites from the kids. Well, no, not two, like one favorite from the kid. And her name is, let me skip over because there's a lot of the chapters just going through explaining. And I feel like it's a refreshing chapter where we're getting a lot of dialogue between the characters just to progress the story. And her name was Ronya, and she says, it's okay, everything will work out at the end. And I thought that was such a fantastic little character. I'm like, she's adorable, dude. She just says everything's gonna be fine. Well, she can't help what she's doing. She's just walking in a straight line to wherever. And there's giant monsters on her side just looking at her. And then they bring up, making sure I'm not missing anything. They woke up the kids. They see all the monsters, and then this is hilarious because even the giants of Elbaf are saying that woman, that monster woman, looks rather similar. It looks a little like my wife. Wait a minute. Is that one of the kids that were called was, oh no, they didn't say the names yet, but if the kids' nightmares they're thinking of, they brought to life the kids' nightmares, then that kind of looks like my wife, which makes them mothers. So the giants of Elbaf themselves are folding like lawn chairs to the thought of fighting mothers or the kid, their wives, basically, a wife and a mother. It's just, they're falling over, they're folding like lawn chairs to it, and their ship, you see it in the distance, just goes ahead and crashes down into the ground. And Summers brings it up like, ah, well, there goes the mighty giant ship of Elbaf, which, again, what are your stocks? You're bringing them all down to their knees on your own with only 3 people's powers. Honestly, I don't know why they've put so much money into the Elbaf giant stock, because honestly, it's plummeting in my face. It's awful. I don't know why they did it. They invested way too much into it. We get a clearer picture of the thorn snake creature, and they say, Jarul, you're in charge, which they know Jarul by name. So he looks confused, which I feel has to do with the fact that he has a sword going through his head. He knows something that he cannot remember because of the sword. The sword has to come out this arc, I feel. Chopper has to like do it, right? Like something, they need to fix his memory somehow. Maybe you don't need to pull the sword out, but he's going to get hit on the head so hard that he's going to remember, and it's going to jog his memory, and he's going to remember, oh, I'm the bad guy. Like he's actually the bad guy, or he remembers what happened in the castle. That's definitely a plot point. Like that sword has to be a plot point, or Oda's playing a massive, massive red herring on us right here with that. And we get a nice little layout of the map of where the kids are going down the trail. And we see that this is all happening on Branch 8, where the castle is, where the Frankie and Ripley are, and then between them, where the kids are moving. Get a name of all the kids, we get their weak spots, right? Oh, that's my great-great-granddaughter, that's my daughter, that's... You know, you hit their weak point, they need to go save them. I'm going to go save my daughter myself. I mean, geez, of course. And Yasan gets the name. Last person that they call is Colin, and Yasan on Ripley's hands is like, hey, that's our boy, he's over there. And Ripley's like, don't brag about that, our kid's in danger. And Sommers says, if you don't comply, we will kill them. And Yasan's like, whoa, 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 we're gonna what? All right, he springs into action. And Angie, big mouth Angie over here, saying way more than she needs to. First of all, you know, saying the words that you kept records of Ohara, the Ohara, that you saved stuff from there, you know, the history. He's like, whoa, whoa. Even Sommers is like, you're a big mouth. Why'd you tell me that? That's dangerous. His face is like, I gotta do more work now since you told me that. Oh, that's awful. And yeah, the Robin immediately hears, I'm gonna destroy everything. I'm gonna destroy O'Hara's records. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Immediately, Robin starts packing up, like she's gonna leave. Starts picking up. We see Yasan dart. First, well, I'm kind of sad because I did say Yasan should be the one that's going to save the Straw Hats because they're demolished by Gunko. But he wasn't there, but he knows where they are because of the voices. He's going to go save the kids. And Robin gets up and he's ready to fight Sommer. So she knows she's at a disadvantage. She knows that they're immortal. And he has thorns that are basically a counter to her flower ability, right? And that her arms are going to get pricked every step of the way when she's attacking. So this is the time. This is the perfect time. Willpower is going to come into play. You mentioned O'Hara. You mentioned the weak points. You mentioned you got to save Saul. We are getting it. This fight or this arc, we are getting... I mean, the only way that I can imagine she stands a chance to protect Saul is armament hockey on Robin's arms as she's deploying them around. Armament hockey. I'm ready. I mean, we've got to call it there, right? That's exciting. I hope we get to see it. Maybe not this fight, but I can't imagine there's going to be more prolonged fights. So it's got to be one and done. She fights, they push back the Holy Knights, and they have to run away. Or, well, they run away, but they call for reinforcements. Something has to happen. There's still no big bad, right? I forgot who they said was going to be the big bad. Loki's still He's not going to be the bad guy as long as I can tell. We still need something that's going to be a villain, or they push him back and we get a different part of the story. But that's where the chapter ends. No break next week, thankfully. Just making sure I didn't miss anything in the chapter. But guys, of course, if you want me to cover something else, cover a different topic, a theory, the Brook theories are well, it's not really even a theory. It's just like chances of stuff that happened in his first life that knows Gunko from somewhere, because it looks like such a familiar person. Like, hey, I know you from before. You were a kid even back then, or you looked the same as when I saw you 40, 60, I think, what was it, 80 years ago? I don't know wherever he was, however old he was in his first life, or however long ago it was in his first life. But other than that, predictions for next chapter, I guess I could put this down. Predictions for next chapter, Yasan gets there, Robin starts fighting. And she's starting to get completely pushed back. She cannot defeat Sommers. I don't even think she can put up a fight remotely to Sommers until she gets a power-up of armament hockey to push back against it. Because I remember Saul wasn't having an issue using the armament hockey or blocking the kids. Well, no, I don't remember if he used armament hockey to stop the kids. But using the shield, it hurt them on the inside because they bumped into each other. In this case, you should be able to use armament hockey to protect yourself against the thorns, I think. It should be. It's like just a big shield. Other than that, we need Luffy to come up or something, because Yasan's going. He's going to probably put a stop. Or Yasan saves Robin in this case. But somebody maybe killing them interrupts, and he's like, I'm not going to let you interfere with their fight. So maybe killing them is the one that he fights, or fights Gunko. Or there's more interactions with Brook and Gunko in the meantime while they're fighting. Something like that in that case, and we get a little more exposition on what's going on with Luffy, or they heard the transponder snail from Hydruden, maybe he has one and they hear, and then Luffy's jumping into action, which again, I'm hoping that happens already, because maybe he's too far to catch it with observation hockey, which makes him want to boost up his observation hockey, because he can't let this happen again. He can't just be in the dark of what's going on. But hopefully that transponder snail message to everybody also alerts the other giant and the trio in the underworld. But other than that, guys, that's it for me. Please let me know what you think. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, if there's anything to improve, please let me know. And I'll see you for the next one.